Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So I haven't done one of these videos in a really long time, but I thought I'd do this kind of video since we're in the spooky seasons to talk about kids horror series. I do only want to talk about one today, but I want to mention another one first. So if you don't know what like kids horror series are, they're basically these things they used to make a really long time ago. I don't think they make them anymore. Where it was usually a kid in a quiet neighborhood who experiences something horrific. And it's the horror movie. Say there's this kid and his dad's a mad scientist and accidentally turns his son into a monkey or something like that. But one of the series, I forgot what the name was. I think it has something to do with dark in it, but this specific series has a couple of kids sitting around a campfire in the middle of goddamn nowhere because that's the perfect area to tell spooky stories, and they tell spooky stories. Now you might think, okay, so the whole base of this series is the kids sit around the campfire in the middle of nowhere and get eaten by like a werewolf or something in the middle of nowhere. No, the kids actually have nothing to do with the series at all, even though this series is named after them. Basically what the series is all the stories that they tell, and the series basically, you know, makes the stories into real life and tells the story. You know, you only see the kids at the beginning of the episode and at the end of the episode, so yeah, they pretty much have nothing to do with the series. And the other series I want to talk about is pretty much the exact same thing, minus the kids. It's literally just the stories, which is what I'm going to be talking about today. And that series is called Goosebumps. Now, if you have not heard of Goosebumps, and I don't mean the movie, I mean the super old TV series, then you were probably born in 2010 or above. So I used to watch these as a kid, and when I mean I used to watch these as a kid, I mean my babysitter would force me to watch them. And I mean, I was pretty old, but still, this series really scared me. And not in the way you would think. Since these series were made a very long time ago, and most of it's pretty cringy, okay? Like, most of it's like, oh, I heard a sound in the basement. It's probably a monster that's gonna eat me, but it's just the furnace. But no, turns out there's a clown living in your basement, and it brings you into the furnace and makes you play ice hockey. I don't know. A lot of them were very weird, okay? And that's why I want to talk about it today. Most of these episodes were very disturbing, and that's why I wanted to talk about them. He's like, you know, if there was nothing wrong with them, then why would I talk about them? So if you have watched Goosebumps, you know they're pretty much known for their unique, disturbing episodes. Now, even as a pretty much adult, I'm not really a kid anymore, I still find them disturbing. Like, they're really weird. They're like, you would never think of anything like it before. And yet it's still like a horror thing. Basically, each episode has its own like theme, but it pretty much surrounds around the same type of episodes. Like, if you watch a lot of them, you pretty much get the memo. Most of the stories are about either two brothers and sisters, or two brothers, two sisters. It's always two kids or one kid. Never anymore, unless there's like a baby or something, I don't know. But I believe most of the time there's two kids, but basically either both the kids or one of the kids, like, I don't know, hears something in their basement, or hears something at school, or hears something somewhere, or they see something. They're seeing hallucinations, they start feeling something, and something just goes wrong, okay? They first show how the kid's life is pretty normal. They have their, like, I don't know, their climax, their, like, you know, their not so happy life, like their dad's not there or something, or they're getting bullied at school or something, or their parents won't buy them new clothing. Something's always wrong, and then something ends up worse. And when the kid tries to tell the parents don't believe them until the kid like almost dies. And not gonna lie, sometimes the kids do die. And not gonna lie, most of them are because the parents are behind it. And now you see why this is disturbing. Now, for an instance, I'm gonna describe one episode. I don't know what these are. I'm not sure if this is on Netflix or not. I don't know if I'm gonna find any of these episodes, but one episode I remember is this kid who had like blonde hair, you know, like the typical kid who, I don't think there was a dad there. I think it was only the mom, and they didn't live in a very good house. I think they just moved there. He kept getting like, kept seeing clowns or something, or he went in the basement, he found a bunch of clown stuff, and this episode pretty much surrounded around clowns. And a clown tried to kidnap him once, and then the clown ended up kidnapping him and brought him to this like thing. I don't know where it was, but basically they wanted to make him into a clown, and once they put the stuff on him for the clown, it wouldn't come off, so pretty much Pennywise. And turns out that his parents are actually clowns. So there was a dad. I was just, oh my god. Yeah, so his parents were actually clowns, and they want him to become a clown, but he don't want to become a goddamn clown, but too bad he's gonna become a goddamn clown. And that's how the episode ends. Usually none of these episodes actually end off on a good note. That's all I'm gonna say. And that's how you know they're disturbing. I'm not sure how long this series went on for. Obviously they're not making them anymore. This was made in like the 90s, I think, or some of the 80s. I don't know. Probably the 90s. I don't know. I'll look it up. I'll put it on screen probably. I don't know. But yeah, these series were just very... I always got super creeped out by them. And it was so weird. And they ended up making 2 movies out of it. And they had absolutely nothing to do with the actual Goosebumps. There's a Goosebumps series and there's a Goosebumps book. And some have to do with like the invisible boy, like the dummy, you know, the puppet thing. Yeah, you know, from the movie. Yeah, you know. It's about this guy who writes all these books, and I guess they made the books into movies or TV episodes. I don't know the relation, but they made movies out of it, and they're not creepy at all. They actually are pretty good for movies. They have, you know, the typical boy who moves into the neighborhood, and he sees a girl next door, really likes her. Yeah. And then the boy figures out some weird stuff that's going on in the town, and then wants to figure it out, but the girl's like, no. You can't do that. And then the boy ends up figuring out, and the girl has to help him because they let loose a bunch of monsters and stuff. And then at the end of the movie, they end up, you know, getting together until they realize that they can't actually be together because the girl's not real. You know, your average movie. And then they made a second movie out of it, which has absolutely nothing to do with the first characters. These are little kids, and I mean, it was more of a non-horror movie, but still, if you watch that movie and then watch Goosebumps, you'll be like, okay, these have absolutely nothing to do with each other. You could probably look up Goosebumps on something and you'll be able to find an episode. You could probably look it up on YouTube, honestly, and you could probably find an episode. But yeah, I definitely do not recommend watching this in the dark, in the middle of the night. Yeah, I did that with Stranger Things, and I'd have to say, I'd rather watch Stranger Things than Goosebumps at the middle of the night. Like, no. Just, no. Goosebumps, just no. I'm canceling Goosebumps, okay? Like, even the name, Goosebumps, like, it just gives you goosebumps. It's not some, like, horror film. It just gives you goosebumps. Like that, like what? If you are a parent watching this, which I really hope you're not, because why are you watching Bedwars content? Anyway, don't recommend this to your kids. Do not show this to your kids, please. It scarred me for life. Basically, they made most of the episodes where you can relate to things because every episode was kids. You know, the average thing, you're lying in bed and you hear something underneath your bed. And, you know, most of the time, the parents come in and say, okay, it's nothing. You're just imagining things because it's dark. But no, in Goosebumps, there ends up being like a vampire under your bed, and when you sleep, the vampire takes all your blood. Goosebumps in a nutshell. But then the kid's like, okay, no, I know there's a vampire underneath my bed. I'm not going in this room anymore. Yeah, no, that didn't happen to me because I was older, but there were some younger kids also watching it when I was at a babysitting thingy thing. Even the intro gave you the same vibes as the episodes. I'm not sure if I could play the intro. If I can, I will right here. I don't know about you, but I find this type of time period and setting just creepy in general. Like, I don't know, I don't know if you know what I mean, but even movies that are set in this time period, not meant to be like a comedy movie or something, it's always creepy. Like, usually parents wouldn't watch the episodes with their kids, because it's like, why would you watch a kid's TV show with your kids? I don't know, unless they're really young. But if a parent watched this, they'd probably be like, is this rated R? Like, obviously there's no like blood and guts or anything, but there's also this one other episode where it's Halloween. Yeah, it really fits in with the theme. And this kid wants to buy this really realistic mask at the store, but they're all out except for this one mask that the shop buyer says, you don't want to buy this mask, it's cursed, but it's the only mask left and he's giving it out for free, and the kid's like, yeah, give it to me now. And the kid wears the mask on Halloween, and he ends up wearing the mask, and some people are like, yo, that mask is so realistic. And then when he tries to take it off, it doesn't come off, and now he's stuck looking like that for the rest of his life. Basically, the mask like blends in with his face, and now the mask is his face.
What's the matter? There's no bottom to this mask. There's no line in between the mask and your skin. There's no place I can reach my hand in. That's crazy. That's just crazy.
And it's a really ugly mask too. It's almost like a pig mixed with a zombie. Don't bring up a zombie piglin. Don't. But it's super creepy and super weird. And then like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, that makes me not want to go buy an actual realistic mask. These episodes are not just like, okay, there's this dude who ends up being a werewolf. Whoa, so cool, and then he ends up almost killing you. Like, these are relatable things that kids can relate to. And I think that's why it did so good. I mean, it had to do good. There was like many seasons of it, and pretty much everyone knows it. Like, come on, it's Goosebumps. But yeah, if you were a kid and you watched this as a kid, then you could probably relate to a lot of these things, and it probably freaked you out a lot. But if you're watching it now, you probably won't relate to this, and you know, like, okay, there's no monster in my closet. There's no clown. I'm fine, right? Right? That's gonna be the end of this video. I don't know what this video was. It wasn't really like a story time video or a commentary, really. It was kind of just a voiceover. I thought I'd do a video like this since Halloween's coming up, and yeah, Halloween. So yeah, thank you for watching, and goodbye.